Hi, my name's Deborah and this is where I love to paint all things watercolour. Today, where I live in Alberta, Canada, the snow has finally melted, and so I think spring is actually on its way this time. You can never be sure, but hopefully, fingers crossed, the snow is gone for good. So I want to do something very spring-like today, and so I decided I was going to do a wreath with flowers on. I'm going to do daisies, and for my wreath I'm going to use this. You can just watch and follow along like that, or you can grab your stuff, get your paints and your brushes and your water and paint along with me. This will be in real time, so it should be easy for you to follow along, and you can always just stop it where you need to, and you know, if you don't want to listen to me, you can mute me too, so that works. You can do what you want, you do you. Anyway, this is what I'm going to do, so I hope that you will watch and follow along. Okay, so I am using my Meeden paints today, trying to let you see the color of them here. And I'm gonna, for my green today, I'm gonna use this color here, which is quite a, I don't even know what you call that. You know what, I've got the names of these paints written down somewhere. I should probably look it up. Anyway, I'm gonna use this color and I'm gonna mix it with some of this yellow here to give me a lighter green, which is this color here. I'm really good at these videos, hey? That's all right. Okay, my friends, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put the paint on here, just paint it around. Sounds easier than it actually is. It's kind of a pain to do. I don't need it to be perfect. It's okay if the circle's a little bit broken. I just want to try and place it in the middle and press it down. Yeah, not so terrible. Put a bit more on. The thing is, it dries so fast, right? So you gotta go quite fast with this. All right, let's try that again. I'm actually purposely putting it in a slightly different place. I want it to, you know how if you have like a wreath that's made from, I don't know what wreaths are made from, some kind of wood or some kind of branch or something. They're not just a perfectly straight circle, right? Like they have different elements to them. Okay, I think this will do. There we go. Great. Okay, that's that. So now I want to, I'm gonna put some daisies on. I'll probably do some up here, and I'll probably do them in 3 points. I always like doing things in threes. It feels kind of balanced to me when I do threes. So I'm gonna use that same yellow that I used before, except I'm just wiping it off right now because I've put so much green in it. Okay, so I'm gonna do maybe one here, just doing the centers of them right now. And here, and here. I don't know if I should do those centers first and then come back. No, I think I'll place them all. So maybe one here, and here, and here, and then some at the bottom. Hopefully that placement will work for me. Now, daisies obviously are white petals, and I do have like a white watercolor paint here, but quite honestly, I don't think that's going to really cut it. I think I need to add in a tinge of another color, so maybe purple, or let's see, maybe a bit of, yeah, I think I'm going to use this very pale sort of lilac color. All right, let's see how this goes. Because we want to be able to see the petals, obviously, but we also don't want to make them look like they're purple petals. And I'm literally just painting lines. So if you're following along with me, just paint lines. Doesn't have to look perfect. I mean, I suppose a daisy's petal does have a bit of a point to it at the end and is a bit of a nicer shape than I'm actually doing here. Here, I'm going to fix these. Make them a bit more pointed on the end, a bit more rounded in the middle. Oh, you know what I should do? I should put my glasses on. There we go. Oh dear, it's been one of those days. All right. How's yours looking? Okay, I think that will, oh, that one looks pretty square. Let's fix that. See, that one's actually a bit bigger than I want, so now I have to make the others a little bit bigger. Okay, I think that'll be good though. I'm going to do the same again for the next one. So I'm just using white and a little bit of the lilac color mixed in. Now a bit of my yellow did actually blend there, but I'm okay with that. I don't mind. So at the back of my daisies are going to be a bit shorter. The front, they're going to be a bit longer. Now my green is showing through on my wreath here. Not sure what I'm going to do about that quite yet. I think I'm going to let it dry before I try and lift any paint. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll try right now. No time at the present, huh? Let's see if I can lift it a little bit. It's usually actually easier to lift once, or I find it's easier to lift when the paint is still wet. It's kind of coming up. Or maybe I'm just thinking it's coming up because I want it to. Who knows? Okay, you know what? I'm going to leave that and come back and probably do another layer on it. So let's go ahead and do that same thing. So I'm using my white and then a little bit of lilac to do these other ones as well. Okay, now onto my last little grouping. Same thing again. Okay. Now, thinking about daisies and what the leaves look like, they don't really have leaves, do they? I remember as a kid picking daisies down the park and making daisy chains. I don't know if they do that in Canada. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody doing it here. I think that was definitely an English thing. I don't know. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. Have you ever made a daisy chain? I don't know. I'm feeling like I need more going on my wreath here because I feel like there's not a lot of foliage when it comes to daisies. So I'm actually going to add some more and I'm going to do another grouping right here. I think this might help it feel a bit more balanced. Even though I just said I like doing things in threes, which I do. But in this case, I think we're going to have 4 groups, and that's okay. Those ones are a little bit smaller. All right, I just looked up the leaves, photographs of daisy leaves, and have more of a sense of what they look like now, so that's good. I'm going to see if I can put some on here. Again, I'm just adding some of that green and yellow that I did the wreath with. Okay, so they're kind of round, fat, stubby, round leaves. Almost like teardrop shapes. Kind of like that. Let's do some here. When you're doing a wreath, you might, well, I tend to like things going all in the same direction, right? It just feels better for my brain. I guess you don't have to, it's up to you. Okay. Yeah, I remember as a kid, I always made daisy chains. It's a thing to do. You go down the park, take the dog, sit on the grass, start picking daisies. They were everywhere. Like I said though, maybe that was a English thing. I am English, for those of you who wonder about my messed up accent. Somebody actually asked me on here on YouTube, somebody sent me a message and said, "What's your accent? I can't place it. It sounds muddled." And I said, "You're absolutely right. It's very muddled." I don't know. How else do I answer that? They're right. It is muddled. I've lived in Canada longer than I've ever lived in England now, but I did grow up there in England, making daisy chains. All right, so if you're doing leaves along with me, they're just like fat little stubby things, kind of in the shape of a teardrop. Pretty simple to do for something like this. And I'm just trying to stagger them a little bit so they're not all completely in a straight line. Now I'm sure there's probably different variations of daisies and different types. This just happens to be the one that I looked up. And they're actually not actually even called daisies. I read somewhere, daisy's just the sort of name that we, kind of like a nickname that we've given them, but they actually do have some fancy gardening name. If anybody can remember what it is, you can let me know in the comments. All right, there we go. Pretty simple. I think I need to do a little bit of shadows now. A bit of a shadow, sorry, around the yellow part of the flower. I'm going to use that same lilac color that I used before. Here, I'll show you what color I'm using. Oops. So this is the color that I'm using right here, and I'm just mixing it with this white right here. Mostly white, just a little bit of the lilac in it, but maybe I'll add a little bit more actually of the lilac if I'm using it as a kind of like a shadow. Oops, I'm using a brush that's too big. I'm gonna size down, I think, for this next bit. So I just have a pretty skinny little brush here, and just gonna go along the sort of bottom edge of some of these flower petals. Hopefully when it dries, it'll give it a bit more dimension. I mean, I don't want it to look like it's a stripe, because it's not a stripe, but I do want it to not look completely flat either. That's the joy of painting, right? You just don't know what you're going to get till it comes out the end of your brush. And sometimes you might think, hey, that looks really good. And other times you're like, this is embarrassing. I don't want anyone to see this. But I guess when you're putting it on YouTube, you have to be ready for everyone to see it. Or no one, depending on your channel. I'm grateful for those of you who have followed me in my short time on this medium, on this platform. Hopefully you won't leave me after seeing this video. And if you do, I guess it just wasn't meant to be. I'm okay with that. Okay. So just a little bit of a shadow on some of these petals. These ones up here are quite purple. I'm not sure I meant to do them quite as purple as that, but oh well, they're done now. Now I think I'm going to use excuse me, I think I'm going to use a dark gray. Well, I guess it's almost a black color, but I'm just dotting around the bottom half of the yellow bit. I can't remember what that's called right this second. I'm sure somebody can tell me what it is. There we go. Gives it a little bit more weight when you look at it, when there's a bit more of a dark color too. Again, I'm making the black at the front of the flower a little bit bigger, taller, higher, just to make it look like you're not looking at it from a bird's eye view, giving each of these flowers their own little angle. If you're still with me and still watching, way to go. That's great. I'm glad you're still here. Never quite know if you're just talking to yourself when you make these videos. It's really nice when people actually comment though, because then I know, oh, it's not just my daughters watching the video 1,000 times over by themselves just to give me views. It is actually different people that don't know me writing comments, so that's kind of encouraging. If you are following along with this to actually paint it and not just watch it, and either is fine. But yeah, I am actually interested in knowing how you did. And if you're I was going to say if you're a seasoned pro. If you were a seasoned pro, I'm sure you wouldn't be watching this. But if you've been painting for a while or just starting out brand new, I'd love to hear about it. I do try and post things here that are easy to follow along and hopefully interesting for those who are interested in easy watercolors. I try and give tips that will actually be helpful. There. Okay, I think that looks all right. It's good to know when to stop. And I think I'm going to stop there. it's kind of cute. I kind of like it. It's very simple, and sometimes simple is best, right? Daisies are a very, very simple flower. So I think if I was to redo this, I would maybe do the daisies first and then do the ring on top, so that I didn't have this green going through some of my petals, because I'm not sure that I can lift it now. I could put much more purple on top, but I don't want the daisies to be completely purple, right? Like not, I mean, they're supposed to be white, but when you're painting on a white background, you do need to add a little bit of something so that they can be seen, usually a purple or a blue color. So yeah, I think I'm just going to wreck it if I do that. So I'm just going to leave it. And you know what? That's okay. Live and learn, right? Okay, there we have it. Our simple and easy daisy wreath. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.